From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
All right, so welcome to the Site Strategic Digital Marketing News Desk. This is the bonus podcast and video of Edge of the Web Radio, episode 362. I went back in time about 3 years. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks. Joining me this week with his take on digital marketing news is Gary Illyes, Webmaster Trends Analyst over at Google. Gary, thanks so much for joining us, and I appreciate jumping in here on an early morning.
Thank you for having me, and for me it's afternoon, so I'm perfectly fine with it.
Oh, you are, aren't you? Yeah, you're only making us actually inconvenienced.
I mean, that's pretty much my job.
No worries. We appreciate you jumping on board here. Here's a few articles that we wanted to take a stab at real quick. From social media today, Facebook weighs ban on political ads in the days leading up to the U.S. presidential election, despite Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg repeatedly stating that he believes that his company is right on track with its political content approach. It seems that it now is seriously reconsidering its stance, with Bloomberg reporting that social network is currently weighing a possible ban on all election ads in the days leading up to the 2020 U.S. presidential election in November. Now, we know that Twitter actually did that way early on. I think months and months ago, actually, they took that stance of just not having any type of political ads in there. And certainly, I mean, nothing else was actually carried on from the other big networks from advertising, and this is not surprising whatsoever that Facebook could very well take a stance there. Last December, Washington Post reported that Facebook had raised the idea of a blackout period covering the 72 hours leading to an election, with both Republican and Democrat officials who both rebuked the idea. So the Republican Party in particular has become reliant on Facebook ads to maximize their messaging reach, and such has strongly opposed any suggestion of a Facebook political ad rule ban, as it would benefit Democrats who do not use a sophisticated digital strategy as our side, quote unquote, from the Republican Party. Gary, I know that this is not your bailiwick, but there's really, we just wanted to bring up the story as this is a regular news item. This just popped in here. Any thoughts, or you just want to skate by this one?
Let's skate by. This is really not my field, and it would probably not be very smart for me to comment on it.
No worries, no worries. But what is smart, right? So I just wanted to skip right past that and go to the meat of the matter, or the eat of the matter, as it would be. See how I did that? That was deftness.
That was amazing. That was. That was brilliant.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Over at Search Engine Roundtable with Barry Schwartz, Google Discover help document updated with EAT mentions. Google has updated their help documents on Google Discover. It's also been almost completely revamped, but one or more of the interesting areas of the update is a section adding to EAT. So basically, Barry gives you the before and after content regarding the help documentation, the old content as well as the new content. Gary, this was really teed up for you. What are your thoughts about the inclusion of EAT into Google Discover as well?
I think it's actually really helpful for publishers. I think many don't realize that EAT can play a role in Discover as well, just like it does in search. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, in Discover, you also want to discover high quality and relevant and authoritative articles, and that's what it helps with. The content is the results that are surfaced there are coming from our web index and image index. So why not apply EAT there as well? Of course we do, but that was not public knowledge. And we just updated our documentation to say that it is part of Discover as well. And you can use the search quality raters guidelines to, figure out what EAT is and how you can improve your EAT.
Improve the EAT. But there's no EAT score, and we want to make darn sure we know that that is not a ranking signal. That's Google's official position on that.
That's correct.
And EAT, expertise, authority, and trust. We've had Marie Haynes on the show before. She and Lily Ray are some preeminent SEOs that are moving the clearing call for EAT. Basically, non-clickbait content, authoritative content. There's 158 references in the QRG regarding EAT, the most recent updates, and some of the key opportunities that are inside Discover. I mean, literally, the recommendations. We would consider the following: having page titles that capture the essence of the content, not clickbait. Right? that should go for anything, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, the QRG. If you read the QRG, it's all common sense. Like, why would people want clickbaity titles?
Mm-hmm.
What are clickbaity titles? Basically, you just want to attract. They are an ad. They want to attract someone to your page to read the content that might not even be relevant to whatever you search for.
Right. And along with that, so many manipulative tactics that are the antithesis of what good quality content, good quality reading should be. So having content that's timely for current interests, tells a story well, provides unique insights, providing clear dates, bylines, information about authors and publication dates, the publisher, company, and the network behind it, all that level of transparency, that's just quality content, and it's ascribed as EAT, but it really is non-spin content, and that's what Google's looking for as true authoritative content. Not putting words in your mouth. You're actually the mouth of Google. So as long as you approve that statement, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well, it definitely seems like you know way more about EAT than I do. So
nice.
So here's the thing. Internally, I think I said this on Twitter. Internally, I think I heard EAT outside the context of the raters guidelines maybe once or twice. And I did work on ranking for a while. Mm-hmm. For us internally, it doesn't appear as often as people think. For us, we have those hundreds of algorithms that contribute to ranking. And we just reference those. We don't think about EAT specifically. EAT was created for the raters so they can understand or get a clue about what we are looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I understand that. And, you know, the other side of the equation is SEOs have always been looking for some formula to be able to clamor on to be able to understand, hey, this is where we can move the football,
sure.
Right? So it's a natural drift towards, hey, this is the next true focus to be able to improve your rank quality, and that's good to be able to know that it's not in the annals of Google that the EAT is a common conversation.
I think it when it came out, or when we went public with it, and soon after, people started to think about, like, how is it a score, mm-hmm. or is it just one algorithm, or is it the algorithm? And we had to debunk this quite a bit, and we were trying really hard to avoid steering it into the toolbar page rank territory, where people started obsessing about the toolbar page rank because we put out a number that was kind of telling about how good the links are to that page, for example, or how I don't even know what the word is. Authoritative is the page on the internet,
right?
And obsessing about one score is not a good idea. It's never a good idea, and it's because we have so many signals. You broke it down. You cited quite a few potential signals that we might use, and focusing on those things instead of just one score is actually what we are looking at for. And it's so much more helpful, both for search engines, not just Google. I'm not saying that Bing or any other search engine is using EAT, but they are using similar ranking factors. All search engines generally do. Mm-hmm. And you can help other search engines as well just by following one guideline. You can help your users because you stop creating clickbaity titles, for example, and you don't lose users because they are just fed up with your crap. It's good in the long run.
It's good. It's non-spin and non-manipulation, and that's really the essence of what this is. It's a your optimization is a recipe. It's not one spice. Eat is not one spice either. It's literally it's kind of an encompassment of your authority, your recipe of good quality content.
Yep.
You see how I'm steering into food analogies here?
Yes, and I haven't eaten anything today, so I'm very appreciative of that.
Okay, well, there's going to be a bit of section in the interview regarding some recipes, so we better get prepared for that. Anyway,
okay, I made a mistake then.
Need to have a snack. All right, so hey, we do want to make reference to a continuing sponsor of our show. That's Ahrefs for short. They make a great competitive analysis, easy. Their tools show you why your competitors, what kind of competitor traffic your competitors are getting, as well as why. You can see the pages, the content that send them the most search traffic, find out the exact words they're ranking on, and which backlinks are helping them rank. From there, you can replicate and, more importantly, improve on their strategy. So check that out. Certainly appreciate their continued support for this show. Go over to ahrefs.com and you can start a trial. I think it's 7 days for $7. It's the entire tool set that they have. You can't get better than that for $1. And a lot of times you'll get software that has a free service, but it's predominantly crippled. This is not. This is a fantastic tool set. So go check out. You'll swim great data just like we do here at the shop. All right. Thanks for the indulgence there, Gary. Last article that we have from Marketing Tech. This is a pretty cool article written by James Bourne over there. CMOs maintain optimism for post-COVID marketing budgets despite fears, says Gartner. Marketers are adopting a stoic attitude to their marketing budgets post-COVID-19, but it is an opinion that's not actually widely shared by their C-suite colleagues. That's the top line finding from the latest Gartner CMO spend survey, which found almost 73% of CMOs expect the pandemic's negative impact to be short-lived. After effects, according to heads of marketing, are expected to turn positive within 18 to 24 months, with CMOs reporting increased investments across major channels in 2021. The survey actually polled 432 marketing executives at large organizations in North America, the UK, France, Germany, and the optimism from CMOs is at odds with other executives, says Gartner, as well as marketers who are in the trenches. But that's got to be some positive notes in this otherwise pretty challenging time. Gary, what are your thoughts there?
This is actually quite interesting because we ran a survey on some marketers, basically our followers on Twitter, which are many. Like we have at least 12 followers, well, at least 12. I mean, that's technically correct. It's interesting. It was interesting to learn that their life didn't change much to the worse. Mm-hmm. It actually for some, actually a large fraction of marketers got more jobs. Even though they were pitching less, mm-hmm. Which was very surprising for us. But if you think about it, right when COVID started, businesses started going online, and probably they needed help for going online.
Yep.
So it kind of makes sense. Post-COVID, I think it will be interesting, and it will be interesting to watch what happens, because I would expect that at least some of the businesses will stay online. Offline businesses that went online will recognize that doing business online is actually quite cool, and they might not need their brick and mortar business anymore. Mm-hmm. And you can also see this in the surveys that others did on remote work. Like, how do you expect your work will change post-COVID? and many said that they will shift to work from home. It just doesn't make sense to have an office for some jobs. And I expect that some brick and mortar businesses will do the same, which also means that they will need some marketing help. Yeah, I definitely think that some things will change. COVID is going to be impregnated in our memory for a long time, and people will be more cautious about how they spend. But on the other hand, that might be good for certain other jobs, certain other markets.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've heard from a number of different marketers, the hybrid model has been adopted and will continue to be adopted. There's a lot of companies that never experienced remote work, and this was their first forced challenge to do so, and it turned out incredibly well. So the trepidations of trusting the employee at home, right? That was one of the preeminent things. There's always been that stopping point hesitancy for a lot of more, I guess, conservative or older companies. And they had to do this, and they're adopting it. And the environment, the technological environment, was well honed to be able to support this. And you're absolutely right. There's not going to be a place where we're going back to that old period of time. There's going to be this new hybrid scenario, and marketing certainly has been kicked into I don't say high gear, but focused attention on also the analytics, as opposed to just throwing money into wild abandon. They're making smart decisions as opposed to just gluts of investment too.
Yep. I just by watching the tech companies and also ourselves, Google. I think for many companies, the biggest challenge was not that employees would be more or less productive at home. It was also about security, because, like, for example, if you work on ranking, you deal with lots of confidential information that you definitely don't want out in the public.
Right.
And how do you allow employees to continue work on those things while working from home? In other companies' case, if you work with user data, that's super, super important that you keep that safe. Like, I can't imagine how hard it must have been for any of the big social media platforms to allow their or to enable their spam fighters to work from home. Like, how many hoops they had to jump through and what kind of setups they had to deploy to allow them to work from home when they are directly working with user data.
Absolutely.
It's I know for certain that was one of the most challenging things, at least for some of the companies.
Well, innovation certainly kicked into high gear here, and you're not seeing many challenges. Yeah, you're talking about user data not only in the big tech, but also in the medical community as well, with HIPAA and what have you. So there's so much that the IT world had to step up and be able to prove. And on top of that, reliance on those home networks, which were invariably less secure and less reliable than a control in-office network.
And also, if you think about it, there are lots of jobs that you would think that would work also well remotely. Like, for example, if you are a therapist, for example, and you take clients online, that's all cool on your end, because you probably have a little room where you can sit, perhaps even your normal office, where you can just sit alone and have your laptop and talk to the patient. But on the other hand, on the other side, the patient, can they ensure their own privacy? And if you are a therapist, then that's super important, because they might talk about issues that absolutely require privacy.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. We actually have a unique challenge. We have a marriage therapist, a group that actually, a husband and wife that actually are providing retreats, weekend retreats. And we started marketing it right before COVID hit, right? So all of that changed dramatically. So we're working with them to innovate the online relationship, and that's also kind of
Right.
unique because if you're a married couple, right? Being in the office is a safe place, especially if there's challenges or friction. If they're actually online at home, what the screen goes blank, and now they're forced to have it out after the therapy session. So there are these dynamics that have to be in person, right?
Yeah.
And will always be. But technology is certainly supporting this challenge right here. And we're going to keep on saying post-COVID, and we're going to will this into existence, right, Gary?
Yeah. I'm certain that we will see many changes that will how to say this to not sound like COVID is a good thing. Um, Changes that will make our lives better, and in certain way, if we hadn't been forced into it, then it wouldn't have happened.
Or it would have happened much more slowly.
Or much more slowly. I know for some things that people were not even thinking about. I can't actually say what are those things, but pre-COVID, no one was thinking about those things.
Right.
And then when shit went sideways, then suddenly people were like, "Oh wait, we actually have to solve this." But how come we never thought about this? And there was just no need for it.
Right. No, it shouldn't. They bubbled things up to the surface that needed to be resolved. You're
Right.
absolutely correct. So for that's the articles for this week. A very good input from Gary. Thank you so much. We do want to run through a Google update for you, and we won't ask Gary to contribute in here because we're not really going into the core updates, but we'll keep him in the box there for a minute. July 13th, this is a date here we want to go through. There was an unconfirmed Google update refresh on July 23rd, as we see it, possibly a rollback of some of the changes from the May 5th core algorithm update. So July 13th, we're seeing a huge drop in volatility. So here's something different, guys. We're actually seeing a sizable drop in volatility since July 12th, actually. And it's been calm here, high spikes from the high spikes at the end of June, which is entirely unexpected seeing what we've been through over the last few months. But sunshine is here, and we're going to have some clear skies and some calm seas. So there's SEM Rush on the screen. We certainly have gone through a number of good weeks without any type of volatility. Moz actually shows us as a nice, comfortable 75 degrees, and Cognitive SEO shows us at a volatility of 45 out of 100, which is fantastic. And what's interesting is over at Rank Ranger, the risk level is at a 33%, which is an incredible statistic of calm seas. Things are a good deal well balanced, and things aren't exploding everywhere right now. And there's a welcome calmness right now, which is interesting. Also, inside of Rank Ranger, they've got SERP features, and you want to have a look at this next graphic. The local pack in 30 days have moved for the percentage of searches that are showing local listings has moved from 40% to 49% in 30 days. And it certainly makes sense as we are continuing to be in shutdown, and local relevancy is even more valuable right now for search results. There was also something interesting from SERP metrics. There was a 52% fluctuation over on the Bing side from July 12th compared to the 30-day median. So that was actually a bit of a awakening point. We're going to be looking more into that and what Bing is doing over there on their side of the fence. I probably shouldn't mention Bing when I'm talking to Gary, but I mean, it is. Yeah.
I'm actually great friend with them.
Oh, yeah?
Friends with them. Yeah, you probably want to update the logos, though.
It's not from me. It's from SERP. Oh, yeah, you're right. I will. Well, we'll fix that in post. Well, I'll give you any thoughts about what we just went through, Gary?
Yeah, but I will not tell you.
All right, so that's it for The Edge this week. Be sure to check out our full interview with Gary Illyes. Link to this podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, to get updated. And when we'll go live next, and who we're talking to on our next show. From all of us over The Edge, stay safe and stay well, and do not be a piece of cyber driftwood. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.